We can't stop freaking out about how awesome that was. Oh my gosh, a bear!
Welcome to Minnesota, our first new state of 2021. Over the next month, we're going to be road tripping through the Great Lakes states. And first up, we are on the north shore of Minnesota, which is a 145-mile stretch of shoreline on Lake Superior.
And our plan over the next week is to drive down the entire North Shore, and we're starting as far northeast as you can possibly go, Grand Portage State Park, which is on the US-Canada border. We can literally see the border crossing. Right there, it's so close. I think we have about a week till we're allowed back in. Ah, it's torture. Today we're hiking the High Falls, Middle Falls, and Pigeon Falls Loop, which is about 5 miles and will take us to the highest waterfall in Minnesota. And there are a ton of state parks here in Minnesota. Most of them charge about $7 per car to get in, but this one's free.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yes.
We made it to our first stop on the trail, High Falls, 120 feet, the highest waterfall in the state of Minnesota. This is the Pigeon River. This is the international border or boundary for US and Canada. That's Canada just right there.
It has been over 2 years since we've gone international, so we're feeling just a lot of feelings, and I don't know, just about Canada being right there, and just excitement that hopefully we can go outside of the US soon. High Falls was a gorgeous waterfall. It's super rocky, and so the water's just kind of cascading down the rocks in different layers and going through cracks of the rock. It was just gorgeous. We've heard that they're in a drought right now, so the waterfall may not be as rushing as it can be at other times of the year, but we were just glad that there was some water to see. We are now on the Middle Falls and Pigeon Falls trail, and the High Falls trail is paved the whole way, but we hear that this one is a bit more rugged.
We have made it to Middle Falls on the Pigeon River. Again, that's Canada just right there. The hike out here was through tons of woods. I feel like I turned into Spider-Man. I have spider webs all over me.
I promise this is the last time we'll freak out about the fact that we are on the US-Canada border, but we were just enjoying one of the other waterfalls. We saw some Canadians across the water, and it was just so cool to just think about how we live in a different country from them, but we can see them across the river and we're both just enjoying the same scenery. It's just, I don't know. I just think it's the coolest thing. We headed just down the road to the Grand Portage National Monument, which is a free national monument that shares the history of the Grand Portage Ojibwe Native Americans, whose land this is on, as well as how the 8.5-mile Portage Trail contributed to fur trade, enabled European expansion into the Northwest, and developed an international boundary between Canada and the US.
There's a lot of cool buildings to check out here at the park, including this recreation of the inland headquarters of the Northwest Company, a fur trading company who came here to disrupt the monopoly on the fur trade by the Hudson's Bay Company, and the Northwest Company eventually grew to dominate the North American fur trade by controlling 80% of it.
It is the 1790s, and I am dressed like an Ojibwe woman because there were no European women here at the time. What you see here is a cutting-edge 18th century kitchen. For example, the cast iron that was here were trade goods that the natives got from the European men who owned the company. The Northwest Company rented this area from the Ojibwe, or rented is a 21st century concept. They asked the Ojibwe if they could stay here because this area is actually equidistant from the East Coast and the West Coast. And so what they would do is they would have the animal pelts coming from the Northwest dropped here. They would have the trade goods coming from Europe dropped here, and then everything would be here. So it's kind of like your Walmart distribution center is what this was. Anyway, the kitchen is big, and there's a lot of equipment and instruments here because they were cooking 7-course meals for these men.
We're in the Great Hall, which is where all the fur trappers would eat their meals, and in this room they're actually showing the entire process of how to make hats out of the beaver fur. It's so interesting.
There are 4 rooms, 2 on either side of the Great Hall, and historically they were used as bedrooms, but now today they have them set up with different exhibits, but this one is set up kind of similar how a bedroom used to be. We are really loving this place. It's a lot of fun and very informational. You can walk through all these cool buildings. There's lots of cool artifacts in there to check out, and there's people inside dressed in period pieces that'll tell you all about the history.
And we got to meet 2 of them, Nancy and Peely. Nancy's been working here for the summer. Peely's just volunteering for the day, and they were telling us about the kitchen that we were in, and they were just the nicest,
Super
most fun
fun.
people. Peely's a TikTok star, and so he's just so much fun. It just made our experience here even better.
We just went through the canoe warehouse, and now the final set of structures we're gonna check out is the Ojibwe village. So the name Grand Portage, or also known as the Great Carrying Place, was the passage between the Pigeon River to Lake Superior. So that 20 miles along the Pigeon River is basically impassable. Lots of waterfalls, as we showed you earlier, and other impassable areas. To get to Lake Superior, you can't get canoes down there. So they have this 8.5-mile passageway, and between 1731 and 1804, thousands of men shuttled tons of supplies and furs over the portage and in and out of warehouse at either end of the Woodland Trail. And today the trail remains an international road. Under the terms of the Webster-Ashburn Treaty of 1842, the use of the trail remains free and open to citizens of both the United States and Canada. We just came upon a bear. It's our first one we've ever actually seen on a trail. We've always seen them from the car. We think it's probably like 100 feet away or something, but it's in the direction we need to go. So I think we're gonna turn around here.
That was so freaking cool. I saw it off in the distance and I was like, Adam, Adam, and he was like, what? I was like, stop! Oh my gosh. I kind of had a feeling in my gut we'd see a bear while we were up here, because we hear that there's a lot of wildlife up here. And we were supposed to be going to the Mount Rose summit, which overlooks the Grand Portage National Monument, but we're keeping an eye on him from afar just to see where he went. We just don't have a good view of him now, and we have Kona with us, so we're just gonna turn around. But that was amazing. We already were in love with this national monument. We thought it was just so fun, learned so much, and then we see a bear. Like, we can't stop freaking out about how awesome that was. Oh. And it was awesome because we were at a very safe distance and we did not feel threatened whatsoever. But oh my gosh, a bear! We had planned to do a hike called Mount Josephine, which has amazing views of Lake Superior and just the surrounding area. But one, the trail's kind of hard to find, and then when you get into where the trail starts, there's a very, very small parking lot. It's more just a little tiny area where a couple cars can park. And it was definitely not Sprinter van friendly. We would have been really stuck in there or trapped someone else in. So we didn't feel good about that. So instead, we're gonna go check out an overlook that has kind of a similar view along the main highway.
Check out this gorgeous view of Lake Superior. We stopped off at this overlook on the side of Highway 61. The name on Google Maps we're struggling to pronounce, but on the board over there it says it's the Susie Islands Overlook, and we'll link to it in the description so you can check out what we're talking about. But ever since we've been here the last few days, we have really been enjoying Minnesota. We're getting these PNW vibes. I don't know if it's the lake, the islands, all the green trees, but Minnesota is really blowing us away.
We made it to our home from last night and again for tonight, Ryden's Border Store, which is just a half a mile from the US-Canada border and from the park we explored this morning.
It's a gas station and duty-free store, and they have a few RV sites, and for $10 a night you can get water, electricity, and if you park close enough to the gas station like we are right there, you can connect to their Wi-Fi which has been huge because we have no service, AT&T, Verizon, no nothing.
It's very, very remote out here, which we absolutely love, but that does mean there are less options when it comes to places to sleep. So this may not be the most glamorous place we've ever slept, but we are so thankful for it,
yeah.
especially for that Wi-Fi. It has been so clutch. Yeah. But we had an incredible first day here on the North Shore. It is so beautiful out here, but we're gonna rest for the rest of the day because tomorrow we're gonna continue our road trip down the North Shore. It's been such a hard day.
With no water.
Tell everyone where to find you.
Hey, I'm Peely. You can find me at Crazy Theater Teacher on TikTok.